Sir, heart, artery,
Ar-
vein, capillary,
Arteries,
blood,
veins, capillaries,
You
and
know
blood,
that?
sir.
and blood.
Yes, yes, very good. So the organ system of human beings, or else any kind of other animals, if you take, which is responsible for the transport of
Transport
material
of substance.
inside the body, only we used to call it as what? Circulatory system. Correct or not? So whatever the organs are helping to transport of materials like oxygen, carbon dioxide, food, digested food, or else any kind of other poisonous substances like urea, or else urine, or else excretory substances, whatever it is, if it is useful in transporting, understand, inside the body, which is responsible for this transport of materials, that is what we should call it as what? Circulatory system. Correct or not? So any organ, the organ system of human beings or maybe other animals, if it is responsible for transport of substances, the organ system in human beings, in humans or any animals, if it is responsible for what? Is
Transport
responsible
of substances.
for transport of substances. What kind of substances? What kind of substances? The necessary substances required for the body and unnecessary substances which is produced in the body will be taken out, given in and taken out. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So transport of
Yes, sir.
substances is called as what? Materials inside the body is only called as circulatory system.
Circulatory system.
Transport of substance inside the body, we used to call it as circulatory system.
Circulatory system.
So what kind of organ system? Can you say? Anybody? What kind of organs are involved? So I'm saying that some organs which are present inside the human body or any other animals will be useful for transport of some substances. So that is what I am saying, that circulatory system. So now what it is, can you able to say please? What kind of systems? Yesterday I have taught you, correct? So if you take for example, the various organs of the circulatory system, if you take in human beings, for example, we have what? Heart, correct or not?
Heart.
Arteries. Next one,
Arteries, veins, capillaries,
Veins.
and blood.
also we know that it has been transported through what? Transported through blood. Correct or not? So
Blood.
every substance has been carried by blood. So that is why I can say blood is also one of the organ, like substance in this transport of materials inside the body. So that is why the human circulatory system consists of the heart, four things totally. One is what? Heart. Second one is arteries. Third one is what? Veins. Fourth one, understand?
Capillaries.
Fourth one is capillaries. And the fifth one is what?
Blood.
Blood. All of you should remember. Heart, arteries, veins, capillaries, and blood. These are the five things which is involved in human circulatory system. So, in this circulatory system, again, these five, the heart act like a pump to push out blood. Is it yes or no, all of you? So we have a totally, in our circulatory system, 5 organs are there. What are that? One is heart, next one is arteries,
Arteries,
veins,
capillaries,
Capillaries,
blood.
blood.
So if you observe
Blood.
this, heart is a what? It will pump.
Pumping of blood.
Pumping of blood.
What it is doing? What is the functioning of heart? Heart is only what it is doing. It will pump to push out the blood. Correct or not? Pump to
and the blood.
push out the blood.
To push out the blood.
In the sense of, it will send the oxygenated blood toward to the body, and deoxygenated blood it will be collected again with the help of arteries, veins, and capillaries. That we will study in detail. So in our circulatory system, the main organ which will be pumping out the blood throughout the body is heart. So that is why we can say the heart is the major or main organ which is involving in our circulatory system. Now, in the circulatory system, if you will observe, once this heart will pump to push out the blood, then the three things are there. What is that? The arteries, veins,
Arteries,
capillaries.
veins,
They will act like a what?
Capillaries.
Remaining three. What? They will act like a. They will act like a. These three things. See, heart will pump the blood. It will pump out the blood, and these remaining three things, they will act like a pipes. So what kind of pipes are? Like a transporting. Do you understand it? Like a drain pipes, they will be acting. So they will blood vessels, we used to call as. Very good. So these three together, what we should call? What we should
blood
call?
vessels. Blood vessels.
Blood vessels. So these blood vessels, what they will do? So these blood vessels, they will
Carries.
pipes. The pipes are tubes through which the blood will start moving from one place to another place in the inside the body. So these tubes which will carry the blood are called as what we should call, whatever it is. These three things we used to call as what? Blood vessels. All of you should remember. So whatever the substances which will carry blood, is known as blood vessel. So how many things are we have? Only two things are there. What are that? Arteries, veins, and capillaries.
Arteries, veins, and
Arteries,
capillaries.
veins, and capillaries are called as what do you call? Blood vessels.
Blood
Because
vessels.
it will flow through them only. Correct or not? So
Carry
this is all about what is this organs. Now, as we know, these blood vessels, we have three things. One is arteries, next one is veins and capillaries. Now we will describe all the parts of the circulatory system in detail. Means how this blood will be pumped out by the heart, how many cells we have, inside the blood, how the blood is coming to the heart, how the blood is going out from the heart, from where to where. That is all we'll study in detail. Do you understand? So now if you'll observe our heart shape, as we know that, all of you know that the size of the heart is exactly equals to our, this is what we should call in English, I don't know, anybody? This measurement also we can say that, I forgot it, recently only I thought I forgot. So okay, let it be, which is equals to our this size, correct or not? Size of folded hand, correct? So that is what our size of our everybody's hand. My heart is my folded hand size, and yours and this. So let us comes to here. As we observe our heart, it is roughly, it is not exactly, it is roughly looks like some geometrical shape. What is that? Can anybody say? It is roughly looks like some kind of a shape. Heart is roughly looks like some kind of a shape. What is that shape? Anybody? Not exactly, I'm saying roughly.
Oval. Sir, oval.
Roughly.
Oval.
It looks like a what? Looks like a some triangle shape which is having three sides. Any idea? Anybody?
Sir, oval shape.
Oval. Not wrong. It is not oval shape. Any idea? So let us come to here. According to the biology, understand? So the heart is not exactly, I'm saying, it is roughly triangular in shape. What is that? Roughly it looks like a triangular in shape. Why it is also you can understand. Triangular in shape. Please note it down, all of you. So this is not exactly, I'm saying, roughly it is modular square. Okay, then. So it will roughly looks like a triangular in shape, SHAP shape. So now discuss what is the things present inside, how the blood will be pumped and everything, etc. So I'm saying that it is looks like a what? Roughly triangular in shape. And main thing you remember, this special organ is made up of a special muscles called as, what is the muscles, Ra? It is made up of what? Heart is made up of a special muscles called as, everybody you know this word. Heart is made up of
Cardiac muscles.
cardiac muscles. Who said that? Made up of a special muscles called as, what we should call, Ra? Cardiac muscles. Please note it down.
Cardiac muscle.
Cardiac muscles. That is why you can see those who are dealing with the heart, the doctors, those who are dealing with the heart, we used to call it as what? What we should call it?
Cardiologist. Cardiologist.
That is what.
Cardiologist.
Pranav, do you understand Pranav? Yes or no? So that is why we used to call them as cardiologists. So this heart is almost, understanding, it looks like Roughly, it looks like a triangular in shape, and it is made up of a special muscles called as cardiac muscles. Do you understand, Ra?
Yes, sir.
Now, let us discuss the size of it. As I have said, the size of our heart is about the same as our this what is called as, I think, yeah, please anybody tell me the name. This is, I don't know, I'm not remembering. Try to remembering the name. It will start with the F. It will start
Arm,
with
sir.
what? The folded, this hand we used to call it as measurement. We can study physics, it will come. Olden days we used to measure like this, 1, 2, like this. That is, I'm not getting. It will start with the fist, something we can call it, fist.
Fist, sir.
Fist. Very good. So it is called as fist. So let us come to the size of our heart. If we'll take the size of our heart is about the same as our. It is not constant for everybody. It is same as like our clenched fist. Means the closed our hand. If we'll close our hands and if we'll fold it like this, that is what we should call it as fist. Or we can say that clenched fist. That is what our size of our heart. So please write it. The size of our heart is like our clenched fist. Please all of you note it down. Clenched fist. Do you understand, Ra? Clenched fist. So this is what about 3 things. So till now 3 points I said regarding heart. What are that? One is roughly triangular.
Shape.
It is made up of a special muscles
Cardiac
called as
muscles.
cardiac muscles, and the size of our heart is about what? Same as our clenched fist. Do you understand?
Clenched
Now, if we'll take regarding chambers, if we'll take our heart, we have how many chambers? Ra? Chambers means like a self, like in the sense of house rooms and all. So if it comes to here, the heart has totally how many chambers? Any idea, anybody? So in our heart, human heart,
chambers.
I'm not saying anything.
Sir,
Other
four.
things. It will come to
4, sir.
Four.
4.
4, sir.
So totally we have 4 compartments. Understand? Or we can say that it is having 4 chambers or compartments you can take. So what is that for? How many chambers totally? 4 chambers are present. Do you understanding all of you? Yes or no? Any idea?
Yes, sir.
Anybody? So totally the heart has 4 compartments, or we can say that 4 chambers. That 4 compartments only we used to call as chambers inside it. So the upper 2 chambers of heart are called as arteria or arteria. What we should call? Upper 2 compartments called as arteria. Arteria. It is a singular form, plural form. What is a singular form? Anybody? What is the singular form of arteria?
Atrium.
Understand? Atrium. Singular form is called as atrium. You have to remember singular called as atrium. T-I-R-U-M. Atrium. R-I-U-M. Sorry. Atrium. So that is. So now, so upper 2 chambers we are calling was atrium. A-T-R-I-U-M. Sorry, wrong spelling. A-T-R-I-U-M. Atrium. So now let us come to the down 2 chambers. What we should call? Upper 2 chambers we should call as arteria, and down 2 chambers what we should call? Somebody is messaging chat. Okay, left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, right ventricle. Okay, very good, Dina. So now totally we have 4 chambers, or we used to call it as 4 compartments. So these 4 chambers inside upper 2 chambers, like 2 cells above, 2 cells below it is present. So upper 2 chambers we used to call it as arteria, and the lower 2 chambers are called as what? Ventricles. What we should call? Lower 2 chambers is called as ventricles. Please note it down. So upper 2 chambers is called as atrium. A-T-R-I-M. R-A, arteria. A-T-R-A, arteria, or else atriums. And lower 2 chambers is called as ventricles. So all of you remember. So totally the human heart contains 4 compartments which we used to known as what? chambers only. Chambers are compartments. So upper two chambers we used to call as atria or else atriums, and the lower two compartments is called as what we should call? Ventricles.
Ventricles.
You understanding? So if you'll observe the atria, I will show you the heart picture. So all of you listen. So as we know that, if you'll consider, who will bring the blood drop? Who will bring the blood? Any idea? Anybody?
Veins.
Atrias or ventricles?
Sir, artery.
Veins.
Artery.
Veins are who? Veins are arteries. Arteries are
Veins.
veins. So
Means
veins that are not, so they will bring from the different parts of the blood, except one vein and one artery that will study. Pulmonary artery is there, so that is I will say you. So it is the some exemption is there. So 1 minute, I will show you the heart. Okay. So now all of you observe carefully this one. So this is what our heart. Is it yes or no? All of you. Is it yes or no? So as you know that here if you observe, lower we have a two chambers. Where are they? Can you able to say? So here one chamber is there and here another chamber is there. So this is called as lower chamber. So these are called as what? What we should call them?
Ventricle.
Ventricles. What we should call? Ventricles, these two. And here we have one more chamber and this is one more chamber. So these two chambers is called as what? Atriums. Understand? Atrium.
Arteria.
Heart if we'll take, totally we have a four chambers. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So if you'll observe, 1 and 2 is to called as what? Atrium. Understanding? Atrium. And or else we used to call it as atria. Atria is the plural form. So the first one all of you should remember. First one is called as right atrium and the second one is called as what? Left atrium. Do you understanding all of you? Right, left. Next, down if it comes to the 3,4 we used to call it as ventricles. What we should call?
ventricle.
Ventricles. So, ventricles. So 3 is called as what? Left or right ventricle?
Right ventricle.
Right
Right.
ventricle. 3 is called as right ventricle or else right chamber. Understanding? Pump chamber. And this one is called as left ventricle. All
Left
of you should
ventricle.
remember. Fourth one is called as left one. 3 is called as right one. Means 1 and 3 are called as left and left atrium, atria and ventricle. And 2 and 4 are called as right and right atrium and ventricle. Do you understanding all of you? Totally we
Yes,
have
sir.
4 chambers. Now,
Four
if you
chambers.
observe, we have upper 2 chambers and lower 2 chambers, totally 4 chambers I am saying. Now, who is bringing the blood and who is taking the blood outside? That is all we'll discuss. So, the 2 atria is the plural form of what? Atriums, correct or not?
Atrium.
The 2 atria receives blood from 2 main veins. What is that? 2 main veins. Understand? We have 2 main veins. One is for upper part of the body, from one is another lower part of the body. So the blood will receive the heart. The heart will receive the blood from the 2 main veins. Understand? So, and the 2 ventricles, they will transport blood to the entire body and the lungs also. That is what you have to remember. So if you observe, the 2 arteries where they are present, they only receive the blood from 2 main veins. So, and the 2 ventricles, they will transport the blood throughout the entire body and the lungs also. So, let us observe all of you. Left atrium, where it is present, all of you tell me. Left atrium in the picture. Where it is left atrium? Left
Right side top.
atrium. So, this is
Right
called as
side
left atrium. Can you able to see where it is there? Left atrium. This is. Yes or no? Can you able to see all
Yes,
of you?
sir.
So left
Sir.
atrium is connected to the left ventricle by some valve called as, what is that valve, Ra? What is that valve?
Inlet wall. Inlet wall.
Mitral
Inlet
valve.
valve. What we should
Intel
call?
valve.
Inlet valve. That name called as what? You have to assume. V1.
Inlet wall.
So the left atrium is connected to the left ventricle through the valve called as what? V1. Same way, the right atrium is connected to the right ventricle through the another wall called as what?
V2.
V2. You're able to notice it here, all of you?
Yes,
So
sir.
two things
Yes,
you have
sir.
to remember. So left atrium is connected to the left ventricle with the help of wall V1, and the right atrium is connected to the right ventricle with the help of another wall called as what?
V2.
V2. So both the walls are called as what? Inlet walls. What we should call?
Inlet valve.
Inlet walls. I will say you then, I will say you the names. You don't worry. Understand? So this is what it is connected. So left atrium is connected to the left ventricle and the right atrium is connected to the right ventricle with the help of two walls that is called as V1 and V2. V1 and V2. Now what is the use of this V1 and V2? Can you able to say anybody? What is the use of these walls?
Everyone's backflow.
Anybody, somebody is speaking. What is the use of these walls? What is the use of V1, V2? What is the use of them? Anybody? Any idea? Main thing. Somebody told. Speak, yeah.
Everyone's backflow.
Backflow of blood. All of you should write it. That is the importance of them. Very, very important. Write it. These walls prevent the backflow of blood. Backflow of blood prevents backflow of blood when, that is also important. V1 and V2 prevents backflow of blood from where to where? From where to where? Arteries to veins or means article. When atrium to ventricles or ventricles to atrium. When it will be stopped? It will prevent the backflow from where to where? Where to where? Prevents the backflow of blood into where? Arteria, when the ventricles contract to pump blood out of the heart to the rest of the body. Do you understand, Ram? So, when the lower chambers will contract, and by the time what is happening, the blood will be pumped into the arteries. So again, these walls will be closed so that the backflow from the arteries to ventricles, it cannot be come back when the ventricles, when they are contracting and they are trying to send the blood throughout the body. Do you understand, all of you? Yes or no? So that is the importance of this wall. So these walls will prevent backflow of blood into arteria. Write it. Backflow of blood into arteria. When into arteria when the ventricles contract to, when the ventricles contract to, why they will contract? Contract to pump the blood. Blood throughout the body. So all of you should remember, this is a very, very important one. So why they will be, what is the use of that? That is what. So to prevent the backflow, they will say basically, but from where? From the arteries. When these ventricles contract to pump blood out of the heart to the rest of the body. So here you can observe, why sir then again? Because when this ventricle will contract, what will happen? How they will prevent? Can you able to say this V1 and V2, where they are closed by the time, they are automatically will be closed state or they are open state? Anybody? When the ventricles are closed, when the ventricles are contract, so that these walls will be closed or open. Any idea? Anybody? So if you observe here, I'm saying these ventricles will contract. Contract means what? Compressor like contract. So that what will happen? This blood will be pumped out from the heart throughout to the body, because they only will carry the blood. Correct or not? So throughout the body. So now what will happen here? So automatically when they will contract, this V1 and V2 walls, automatically they will be closed so that it will be prevent the backflow of blood from
Backflow of blood.
back into the atrium. That is what you have to remember. So when this trying to come to contract, the walls V1 and V2 close automatically, so that the blood may not go back into atria. Actually, it will come from there. Again, it won't go back. That is why we can say this V1 and V2, the only use of that V1 and V2 at right article and right ventricle, left article, and same way if it comes to right atrium and left atrium, we have a V2 wall. Both the uses same thing. They will prevent the backflow of blood back into atria, back into a atria. Do you understand? That is what the importance, because they will close automatically when ventricles are contract, then automatically V1 and V2 will, V1, V2 automatically will close. Automatically close, so that they will prevent the blood back into where? Back into artery. That is what you have to remember. So that is why we can say what is the use of heart? Anybody? What is the job of heart? Job or function of heart? What is the job?
Pumping the blood.
What is the job of heart? What is the job of
Pumps the
our
blood
heart?
and receives the blood.
What?
Yes, to pump the blood.
Pumps the blood. It pumps the blood and receives the blood.
Blood around our body. That is what you have to remember. The job of heart is to pump blood around our body. Please note it down.
Sir, doubt, sir. Black flow of blood, sir, or back flow of blood, sir?
Backflow.
Black or back?
Backflow. So you can see, suppose, as we know that the inflow, blood will be coming like this. Is it yes or no? It will come
Yes, sir.
from atrium to ventricles. Correct or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? So now, from ventricles, the blood need to be supplied. It must be pumped out to the other parts of the body. Is it yes?
Yes, sir.
So when the blood will be coming down flow, so when they will contract, when these ventricles will contract, so that by the time if there is no walls are there, then this blood will again back into the arteries only, atrium.
Arteries.
That is why we have a walls here called as V1 and V2. I will say the names also. So these walls will close the gap where the blood is coming from atrium to ventricle, so that the blood will start pumping into the other parts of the body. Do you understand? Backflow.
Okay, sir.
Actually, backflow, why I am saying the blood will be coming from where to where? It is from arteries to
Arteries.
arteries
Arteries.
to ventricles only, atrium to ventricle. But if it is again going back, so it is we have to supply to the other parts of the body, not back into the atrium. So that is why we are having a V1 and V2 that which will prevent the backflow. Okay,
Okay, sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir.
So the job of heart is what? Only to pump the blood around the body. So let us discuss more in detail about this. What is that and how it will take place and all. So now if you observe all the arteria, how many arteria is there? We have how many upper chambers? We have how many upper chambers? Ra?
Two.
Upper chamber two. That is called as atrium or else atrium.
Atrium.
Plural form you can say. And two ventricles. So two atria means two atriums and two ventricles of the heart. They will continuously contract and relax. Contract and relax. Contract means size will decrease. Relax means size will
Increase.
expand. That is what you have to remember. So all the atria and ventricles of the heart contract and relax at appropriate times, and the heart behaves like a pump. That is why you can say we used to get the sound called as from our heart. What kind of heart? What kind of sound? You can observe in our, if it is a pleasant room, no sound, then you can heard our heartbeat. Correct or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
So that is what. How the sound will come? Heartbeat sound. Blub dub blub dub blub dub. Is it coming or not? Because always the arteries. Understand? So the atriums are what it is? Laptapa. Oh, Nitina is saying laptop. Laptop. Okay, that is okay. Whatever you can say. So as we know that always this atria and ventricles continuously contract and relax, contract, relax, contract, relax. So due to this, it is even taking place frequently. As we know that human, what is the heartbeat rate per minute? What is our average heartbeat rate? How many?
72.
72.
72 times. Correct or not? So that is what we can say. Appropriate times and make it the heart behaves like a pump. Now, here if we take, since we have a 2 ventricles and 2 atriums, so here if you observe, the ventricles have to pump blood into various organs with very high pressure. So that is why they have a thicker walls than atrium. So please all of you remember. So here atria will collect the blood from the various body parts, and here who needs to pump the blood drop? Like our home, this is our ground floor and this is our terrace. Do you understand it? So if you want to pump the water, we need more high pressure. Is it yes or no? Is it yes or no? That is why we'll keep as a motor also, because the low pressure is not sufficient to pump the water. So we want to increase the pressure. Means at high pressure only, water has been pumped from ground floor to the terrace. Is it yes or no? The same way, the blood is pumped throughout the body by the lower chambers. What is that chamber called as? What is the chamber?
Right ventricle. Right ventricle.
Understanding both chambers. So these chambers only, they need to pump the blood throughout the body. That is why it is, and even the pressure is very high, because they are the lower chambers. So they have very high pressure and they need to send the blood throughout the body. That is why you can observe this is called as walls of them. So how they are walls compared to the arteries? Compared to the atrium, how the walls are? They are thicker or thinner? The walls of these ventricles. Walls of these ventricles, thicker or thinner? Thicker or thinner? Thick in size or thin in size compared to the atrium. All of you check it in picture. So we have a 2 atrium. Upper chambers is called as atrium. So now this is the walls of them and this is the walls of ventricles. So whose walls are thicker and whose walls are thinner? Please. Whose walls are thicker and whose walls are thinner are you finding? If you are not speaking, what?
Thicker. Ventricles.
Humaira? So ventricles walls are very thicker, because Vaira, they need to pump, they have to pump blood into various organs with very high pressure. So that is why they have a thicker walls than atria. Please note down the question. Question will come here. Why the walls of ventricles are thicker than atria? Please, what is the answer? What is the explanation? Why the walls of ventricles? Question, you have to note it down. Why the walls? Why the walls of ventricles? Ventricles are thicker than atria. What is the answer? What is the answer? Because
It pumps blood for all parts of the body.
the ventricles need to pump the blood for whom? For throughout the body. Correct or not? So
Throughout the body. Yes, sir.
blood into various organs with a high pressure. That is what the reason. So because they have to pump blood for various organs with high pressure. So that is why if the pressure wants to reduce, if it must be thicker or thinner, So in class 8, you may have studied in physics. The walls of the dams, they are very thicker at the bottom compared to the thinner at the top. Have you noticed it? Compared to the upper region, the bottom of the walls, the bottom of the dam is very thinner. Have you noticed it or not? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, anywhere if you go any dam, the bottom part of the dam is much thicker than the top part. Why the bottom part is much thicker? Why that much thicker dam? If you take any dam or reservoir, or thicker and the top it is thinner. So why it is
And
anybody?
the pressure of water.
Because as we know,
Water
Constant
pressure is
pressure of
high
water.
as we go.
Varshini Bensi is speaking. Yeah. Tell me somebody. So as we know that the down, if you are keep on going down from the bottom, means from the top to bottom of a reservoir or dam. So the water pressure means the liquid pressure is keep on increasing. Correct or not? Increasing. High the pressure. Yes or no? So that the dam's wall should be, the bottom wall should be much thicker than the walls at the top. That is what the reason behind it. Because there the much pressure is keep on increasing when we are going downwards. So that to balance that pressure, if not, the dam will collapse. The same way, our heart is also the same thing. Compared to the heart, if you exactly imagine the dam, understanding dam or reservoir, so the upper region of the dam, which is equals to what? Atrium, understanding, or else atria of the heart, means upper two chambers, and bottom, if you'll observe. So what is that? We have bottom. What is we have? We have a ventricle. So these ventricles are having a thinner, very thicker walls, because they only need to pump the blood. They only need to pump the blood throughout the body with a very high pressure. That is why their walls are, the thickness of the walls of these ventricles is keep on increasing when we are coming downwards. Is it yes or no? All of you? That is the reason. Because one more question it will come. Why the walls of ventricles is thicker than walls of